And welcome back to the Gadget Spot.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
It's been 2 weeks since you last heard from us, and I'll be honest with you, there hasn't been a whole lot of news in the last 2 weeks.
A bunch of leaks about phones.
There's been some leaks.
That's it.
We've grown, though, as people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do.
I haven't grown at all.
Actually, Tony, you've done the opposite of growing.
I got shorter?
Yeah.
Gosh dang it.
I tweeted twice.
I saw-ish.
Mhm.
I
No,
did.
I didn't see you do it.
I saw Owen's tweets.
I tweeted twice.
Let's go ahead and
I have
introduce...
a goal. I have a goal of tweeting more than that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. This is the Gadget Spot, where we talk about gadgets, tech, and video games. And let's go around the table and introduce the panelists. Owen.
Hey, my name is Owen. You can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. I am setting a goal to tweet at least 3 times a week. I don't know if that's a lot or not. What do you guys? What's average tweet?
First of all,
It depends on your personality, and for you, 3 times a week is pretty good.
Yeah, but
Why?
what's the average?
Why the goal?
Because somebody replied to me.
Made you feel good?
Yeah, so I had some stranger I offloaded my Twitter userness to my brother-in-law for a while because I didn't know what it was for, and I was like, this is dumb.
And he grew your base?
And he grew my base, which is really just a tricky way of following and refollowing people. It's baloney. But so I have a bunch of strangers that I don't know, and one random stranger replied to one of my random tweets, and it made me feel good. So now I'm going to try to do more of that.
That's social media right there in a nutshell. People
I know
want
that
little buzz.
I know
Chase
that
the dragon.
I know
Uh-huh.
that the internet can hurt me too. Like it's like just waiting. It's like let's pump him up a little bit, then let's hurt him. I know that it can make
The
me
internet hasn't hurt you yet?
no.
Oh, just
I lurk. I lurk heavily, which is like carrying around a gigantic shield in front of you
right.
and just looking.
When you really start participating, then it will hurt
then
you.
it can hurt you.
Yeah.
That
Anyway.
one guy that called me the F word when I played Battlefront 1.
See,
I still remember that.
yeah, I have painful memories of a 13-year-old telling me I should quit Halo because I sucked. I should just quit the game and delete my profile and throw my Xbox in the river.
I was like 30.
You hear that and you're like, maybe they're right. Maybe I should quit playing.
you can't, the internet gives no rebuttal. Like
No.
they could just not look at it. You're like, they probably didn't even log into their account for 3. They probably never see this. Anyway.
That's the only way you can win, honestly, against jerks on
Ignore
social
it.
media is ignore it.
Yeah.
Because
Trolls.
if you fire back, they're just going to keep going.
Feed the troll. I mean,
Anyway,
don't.
Speaking of games, though, what have you been playing?
I meant to get into that Apex game, Apex Legends, right?
Yeah.
Didn't get into that.
Oh.
So I haven't been gaming that. But this isn't about what I haven't been gaming. I played a little bit more Super Smash. I've been going through the spirit levels on that.
Nice.
When I can. So we've had.
That one's fun because you can pick it up and put it down real fast.
Yeah, that's what's really good.
Each match is maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Exactly. I can sneak those in like while the kids are like sleeping.
Yeah.
And stuff. Anyway.
Nice. Jaren.
Hey, this is Jaren. You can find me on Twitter at Jaren. I have the lowest amount of followers on this podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
But
If this were golf, you'd be winning.
I know, but I feel good about it because James and Owen cheated.
Oh.
I was going to say the lowest amount of real followers, maybe,
I
or
cheated.
fake followers, maybe.
I cheated less though. I didn't buy any. So I didn't spend any money on mine.
That's true.
Putting it out there.
I have nothing to say back to that.
But mine are real, and they're real, and they are wonderful.
I mean, are they, though? Who's actually real in this world? Elon Musk said that it could be a simulation.
How did you say his name?
Elon Musk?
Oh, it sounded like Ilan.
What?
Yeah,
That's
anyway.
crazy.
Just a little stutter.
I've been playing some games. I finally beat God of War.
Oh, yeah.
And to echo a phrase I read every 2 weeks,
Boy!
but to change it a little bit, God of War is better than Uncharted.
It is, right?
There, I said it.
Oh, the God of War game is that good.
It is the best game on the PlayStation, followed closely by Horizon Zero Dawn,
Have you had time
Wait,
for
wait.
that game?
What about Uncharted?
followed closely by Uncharted.
Wow. Listen to this guy.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not unreasonable.
Good job,
You've made
Jaren.
your mark. You've changed, Jaren. You can go ahead and change your Patreon name now.
Well, no, he says From Software.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they're the Dark Souls, Demon Souls.
Right.
Everything
etc.
about that game is just perfect.
Yeah, God of War is, honestly, it's spectacular.
That is a system seller right there. And I know I'm late to the game on that, but hey, I also played Half-Life 2.
Ah.
Yes.
Going real old.
Did you ever play the first one?
I did. I beat the first one when it came out, like in '98 or whatever,
Yep.
whenever that was. But I was gone when Half-Life 2 came out for a while, and so I kind of got out of PC gaming. Picked it up on the PS3. I played it until I got to Ravenholm, and that was terrifying.
I knew that was coming.
And I couldn't get past it. So it was on sale on Steam, so I picked it up again. Got to Ravenholm, and I thought to myself, I owe it to the listeners
I can do this.
to get past Ravenholm. And I just did that about 2 hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had to do it when the sun was up.
I noticed your eyes were a little bit puffy when I
the
walked
daylight.
in.
Right.
Yeah.
In the daylight. I'm there with you, Jaren.
Yeah. And I was playing. I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. Then the fast ones came. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So then I quit and picked it up again the next day.
Jaren, the next step is Resident Evil 2 remake.
Oh, no. Yeah. So I've been playing Apex. We might talk about that later.
Yeah.
The game's awesome. And I think that's the majority of it right there.
Nice. James.
Hey. So, hi.
Hey,
I've been
buddy.
on Twitter lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on Instagram. I've been on, that's all I care to share. And
Okay.
I've just been having a really busy month. I apologize.
James's shell came here today.
Yep. Because I've been at work every day, at least until like, I know a lot of people are going to scoff at this, but for me, it's kind of a big deal. I've been at work every day until like 8:30, and I've been skipping lunch and working on the weekends.
What time did you get there, though?
Oh, no, just normal, like 8 o'clock.
No, those are long hours,
It's
dude.
not bad.
Yeah, it's long.
And on top of like working out and stuff. On the bright side, though, this Thursday I get to direct Richard Karn, which I'll be surprised if you guys actually know his name. He's Al from Tool Time.
Oh, yeah.
I knew I recognized that
He's
name.
gonna ride my boosted board, and I'm gonna have him sign it.
Does he know how to ride a skateboard?
I don't know. He's
And
gonna.
why is this happening?
Is that going to make your skateboard worth less if he signs it?
No way.
I think
More.
it's worth more. Internet points, man.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the face that you just can't not love. He's what Guy Fieri would have been if he wouldn't have bleached his tips.
You know what's really weird is there's a show called Last Man Standing with Tim Allen, and before it got canceled and then renewed on a different station, they had Richard Karn on an episode.
What?
He came back?
He came onto an
that's
episode
so nice.
of Tim Allen's new show, or well, the current show, and he played the complete opposite of an Al Borland. Like he was kind of skeezy,
Like a drunk racist?
No, but he was like a skeezy salesman kind of guy. It was
Really?
really weird.
I don't like that.
Acting.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't. You got Dark Link. I don't want Dark Al. But that being said, I mean, you guys nailed it. I've been playing a lot of Super Smash Brothers, a lot of Tetris 99, which I think we're going to be talking about later. But I don't know. I've just been kind of busy lately. If I can just make it through just this month, this is my 4th Red Bull that I've had today.
Wow.
Your heart's going to explode.
I don't care.
Red
I
Bulls-
welcome it at this point.
Red
with
Bulls
open
only
arms.
have-
Then I can maybe sleep.
Yeah.
Red Bulls only have 80 milligrams caffeine, so that's only 320 milligrams, which is slightly more than one can of Bang.
I
You're not doing
I need
that
a
bad.
Bang. I've heard so much about Bang. I actually did a huge shoot all last week every day, and like, man, I should have done the Bang. All the PAs were talking about Bang.
Bang's pretty good.
Should have done that.
It's sugar-free. All of them are sugar-free, but they still taste pretty decent.
That's how I like to consume my calories, though.
I know.
It's through
So,
drinking.
Not an option with Bang.
Yeah. Outside of that, here's the thing. I want to play God of War so bad, but I don't know. Is it like a new father thing that you just miss like the pop culture bandwagon for a certain amount of years?
Yeah.
And then you got
3 to 5.
You got a backlog to catch up on.
If you can. If
'Cause
your-
I still
if your
haven't seen
ADD
Solo.
if your ADD allows you to, I can't. I've lost. I can't
Yeah.
even focus on a list. I just go, I'll just start here.
I don't know why, but the other day I sat and rewrote The Force Awakens. No,
Wait, you
Last
sat
Jedi.
and, you sat and rewatched?
Wait, which one was 7?
Force Awakens.
Yeah, I rewrote that. to
The
my
one J.J.
liking.
Abrams did.
Yeah.
You rewrote it?
Yeah, I made it
Like,
better.
Okay.
Oh,
Can I tell you in this episode what I did? Can this be a teaser? I have it written down.
Are you okay? You seem
How many
I don't
Red
know,
Bulls did you have
crazy.
yesterday?
He hasn't started on that. You should probably open that and take a drink.
Yeah. Your eyes are kind of
Cagey.
It's like your soul isn't there.
Yeah.
That's what the Red Bull's for. It gives you soul
Oh,
or wings.
Wings.
Did you hear about that Red Bull thing? The lawsuit where people were suing because it doesn't technically give you wings. Have I told you guys this story yet? I'm going to tell you. So 3 years ago, I heard about it, a class action lawsuit, and I put in for it, and I got money. But you know who also has money is our host, Tony.
Cool story. I have some money in my wallet, I guess.
And
It's all that all that crypto money you got going on.
Yeah, it's not like I have a lot of money. You know,
$2.
I got $3,
$3
right now,
maybe $4. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony.
I got
or
$2.
see, that's about what I got in my wallet. I'm always on the Geek Show unless I'm not every week, and every other week here on the Gadget Spot. Gaming wise, I've been fairly busy with the games. I just got into a couple of games pretty hardcore for the last 2 weeks. Let's see. Since we last met, I started and completed Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Wow.
I'm
Started and completed?
Yeah, started and completed.
Isn't that bigger than the other Tomb Raider games?
I didn't feel like it was. I'm going to do a little review of that later on. And then I've been playing Apex Legends as well. That one's a lot of fun. Mostly on PC, but I have it on Xbox too, and I dabble on the old Xbox with it. What was the other one I was playing? Maybe that's it. I've been playing a lot of Tomb Raider, basically. And I beat it today, like 3 hours ago.
Did you ever follow up with that question that we had from a listener about the groups in Destiny? Did you ever?
Oh yeah, I've been playing Destiny 2, of course.
Did you ever switch your clan or group or whatever?
I haven't been playing a whole lot of it, so I haven't really looked into it. But I've probably only booted up Destiny twice or 3 times in the last 2 weeks.
Selfishly,
Wow.
I totally want you to not play that game.
Why?
Because I played the crap out of the first one.
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
the abusive ex-boyfriend.
That whole story.
I want you to not like this one so it doesn't make me want to play it.
I turned it on long enough to get the festival event item, the bow, because it's an automatic max level bow. It's pretty cool.
Why don't you skip Destiny 2 and get God of War?
We have to
but
buy a
that would require me
PlayStation
to
then.
buy a PlayStation.
Okay, what's the problem?
I don't have time. I really don't. That's why the Switch is so perfect.
What if Jaren let you borrow his PlayStation?
I don't like borrowing things from people.
Okay.
Let it be known that even though it wasn't my idea, I probably wouldn't have let it happen.
Well, you didn't really have to say that.
Yeah, I think you did
Yeah,
though.
you had free points there, Jaren.
'Cause
you could
Jaren-
have just been like, yeah, he didn't want to.
He couldn't let it go in his brain. They have to know that I wouldn't let him do that.
I don't want that to come up again. Think that's a thing.
Nope.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been playing on. Mostly Apex Legends and Tomb Raider. So let's get cracking on some stories. There was a Nintendo Direct this last week, and they announced quite a few things. Actually,
Patreon.
oh yeah.
Speaking of which,
I got really excited to talk about this new Nintendo game because I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
But yes,
it looks awesome.
Patreon and emails. So Patreon, Jaren.
Hey, Owen, what's Patreon?
A digital tip jar.
Yeah, if you like us, you can tip us and contribute to the show. It helps us keep the lights on, etc., etc. And if you donate $6 or above, we read your name aloud.
You get a shout out.
Yep. So huge shout out to AJ Jasper, David Broshinsky, and Aaron Young. Thank you guys. What was that?
What was that?
I don't know.
Whoa. Anyway, going on. Peter Santone, Hardware. I still don't know what to think of that. Adam Hecht, Ryan Baker, Aaron Faulkner. Bloodborne is still better than Uncharted. You know, that's okay. Adam Foote,
Who is
Spencer
this guy?
Knowlton, Valentine. I can make Jaren say anything for $6. Ryan McQueen,
You
Michael
haven't changed
Beck,
that?
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Jeffrey Kale, Roger Allen, Austin Beauregard. What's your favorite Disneyland ride? Brian Lee, Conrad Southworth. Thank you guys.
He totally stole that from
Actually, did you know me and Austin have been talking, and we're going to start a new Comic-Con, but mainly have it focus around comic books?
You should lead with your new write-up of Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Do you want to hear about it right now before we
No.
go into the
Moving
No,
along
I
to
told- don't-
email.
Don't blow it. Save it for your comic.
Actually, I'm curious, Austin. Really tell us if you've been talking with James. I'm curious if James is lying or not.
Can I really?
All right. We also have a couple of emails. Let's see. Owen, do you want to do an email or
yeah,
two?
sure. Which one are we doing?
Benjamin.
Benjamin?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I like this, so I'm going to read it, the whole thing, because I thought it was clever. In the beginning, Cable created television and the sitcoms. The internet was without form and was a dark place, sorry. And Al Gore hovered above it.
He did invent the internet.
Sorry. I found that very clever. Then Netflix said, let there be streaming services. And there was streaming. Gaming saw that the streaming services were good, and thus they divided the movie streaming services from the gaming streaming services. He says, I've not listened to the most recent episode yet. Sorry, that's just so cathartic. That made me just feel so nice. Good. I've not listened to the most recent episode yet, so not sure if y'all covered this, but I could try to go further, but I actually do have a point. Video streaming is dividing to the point of incoherence. Isn't gaming starting to do the same? Steam is a good Netflix example, but even they are a bit odd with some of the bigger party titles. Other games like Fallout 76, Bethesda Launcher, WoW, Battle.net, Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. Is that right? No, 15. Nope, that's 14. Right?
XIV is 14.
Yeah.
XV is 15.
Mog Station, Sony Square, all have their own. Where does it end? When do we reach launcher burnout?
Well, okay. This is an interesting comment, and it's been big in the news lately with the Metro Exodus exclusivity to the Epic Store.
I want to say one thing first. He who controls the launcher controls the ads.
I want to say one thing second.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the thing about launchers, though, is pre-Steam, there were no launchers, and every game had its own icon on your screen. Every game had its own place in your startup folder.
That's what I still do. I just put an icon on my start menu, and that's how I boot up my games. I don't care about launchers.
Well, there you go. That's one way around it.
Yep.
So, yeah, until Steam came along, that was how it was. It was far less incoherent than it is now. But now it is definitely branching out. You have every big publisher basically has their own launcher.
That's how you get to the store, right?
And
the launcher
usually
gets you
that's
to the
how
store,
you get to the store,
which is where the money and
or your library.
What I don't like are the big publishers having their own. I don't mind third-party stores like Epic or Steam, but like EA, they have their own. Ubisoft, they have their own. I find that annoying.
Yeah, but on the same note, competition's good in the marketplace.
But EA doesn't sell other games. They just sell EA games.
Yeah, but they have sales for their EA games that are good.
Yeah.
But it does get, I will say, it does get slightly annoying when you buy a game in Steam and then you go to play it and it opens up the Ubisoft launcher after you click on it in Steam to play it through the Ubisoft launcher.
I didn't know it did that.
It's kind of dumb. But,
can't you just open up the Ubisoft launcher and skip Steam?
Yeah, just do it through the Ubisoft launcher. You can usually just import the game to there from Steam. Anyway, it is kind of annoying, but it does allow for competition in the marketplace. And, you're talking about what, 7 launchers? I mean, it's not that many.
I really like Epic, actually, because it's only 88%.
Epic has a much more favorable split between them and the game publishers.
So they're doing something new, so I'm okay with that. The other launchers, I get it.
Well, there's only 3 out there right now that have games from other devs that aren't their own, which is Steam, Epic, and Galaxy from Good Old Games. And everyone else, Ubisoft, EA, they all just provide library access and things to their own their own games that they publish. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's annoying, but on the same note, it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. I mean, if it's one of those things that's like, well, if you don't like it on that platform, then I guess you won't play it. I mean, they control it.
Well, and their ultimate goal, like this isn't their end goal. And then you got to look down the line. Like most likely someday we're going to just be streaming games. We won't even own them. We'll just have the rights to stream them.
We'll see.
Games.
We'll see.
Even Nvidia has come out and said that they don't think that desktop hardware will ever be replaced.
Well, it won't be desktop hardware. It's how they're going to compress the games.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's just going to take a lot longer than
basically Jensen Huang from Nvidia said that there will always be a place for the enthusiast hardware because with any of the technology, even like future technology in the pipeline right now, nothing can give you perfectly lag-free gaming like you can get on your PC if it's being rendered right there next to your screen. You know what I mean? I don't think you do.
Plus, if your internet goes down,
Do you understand?
no games.
What?
Yeah, okay.
Internet infrastructure really, really has to get better because I have a 1 gigabit connection. I don't know if you guys know that.
You've only mentioned it like every day.
But even on that, the
Wait,
game streaming was trash. So
You're at your house, you have that?
Yeah. It's not anywhere near.
It's not ready.
Mainstream.
Not even close. But yeah, I don't know. The launches are annoying, but I'm okay with it, honestly, is I guess what I'm saying. Doesn't bug me that bad. And if you bought the Metro on Epic, you got it for $10 less.
Yep.
They passed the savings on to you. I mean, that's cool.
Can't complain about that. We got another one from Curtis Thacker. He says, "Hey guys, loving the show. I would like to know your thoughts on the DC app. If I am using my phone or iPad, it has been great, but with AirPlay, it sucks. I have no problems with AirPlay on other apps. Thanks, Curtis."
So if you're using it with AirPlay, doesn't that mean you have an Apple TV? And if that's the case, then you can just get the DC app for the Apple TV, which is what I use, and it works fine. I don't have any problems with AirPlay.
Technically,
on that.
AirPlay works with the brand newest of Samsung TVs, and Vizio is putting out a patch to work with AirPlay as well.
So
And Sony. It's just not there
um,
yet.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if he's using those or not, but if that's the case, then I don't know. Because like I said, since I have it on Apple TV, I don't ever use AirPlay with it.
I find AirPlay kind of finicky if the screen is off. Sometimes it'll stop playing like after 20 minutes or so.
If the screen on the device you're casting from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not always, but sometimes it really depends on the app.
Hey, Tony, ask me about the app.
James, what about the app?
What app?
The DC app.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. It is on my phone. I am paying for the subscription.
You're not watching the shows?
Oh, dang
Dude,
it.
Titans was awesome.
He's working. He works till 8 every day.
Dang it.
And then he's playing a
I
Switch.
do have that subscription. I really should be reading those comics on there.
James is the target demographic for all of those sales.
Yeah.
You know, the start your free trial for free,
And then they charge you after that
and
a
then
month
it's
after.
$40 every
Yeah.
month after.
I
that.
hope more people say mean things to you on the internet.
No, they won't.
Let me tell you
I won't tweet
how
again
much
ever.
I've been enjoying the DC Universe app, though, in general. They've doubled the amount of comics on it in the last, 3 weeks.
They went from 5 to 10.
No.
Does it include the comics and the shows?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It
Comics.
includes everything.
And shows and a big library backlog of, classic Warner Brothers stuff, like all the Batman, the animated
Which
series
is still
stuff.
a show.
Oh, sweet.
Justice
Justice League.
all the Justice League
animated?
stuff. Yep,
Batman
all the
Beyond.
animated. Batman Beyond. It's even got the 1960s Wonder Woman stuff, or 70s, whatever, with Linda Carter, which, I don't care. But,
So if you want some old
people,
school coming of age
Yeah,
stories.
indeed. But yeah, overall, and then they've got original content they've been making. Titans, they continued.
Titans was really good.
It was way good. They continued Young Justice, which got canceled after 3 seasons on Cartoon Network.
I still got to watch
Or
that.
maybe 2. Anyway, they started that up again, and it's been awesome. And then Doom Patrol just came out this week. They started that, and it's been getting really good reviews too. I haven't watched it yet.
DC's
but
been good on the TV front for a while.
They have, yeah. It's their movies where they super struggle.
Yep.
Except for Aquaman.
I liked Aquaman.
That made $1 billion.
I still
Sounds
got to
good.
watch that.
It was good. I liked it.
Hey, we're living in the year of hey, you want a Tetris that's Battle Royale? Well, you're going to like it. You're going to want an Aquaman movie that earns $1 billion. It's like we're living in the Twilight Zone right
like
now.
a weird-
what version of Black Mirror are we living in?
This is the Upside Down. I don't know if you know that. We're in the Upside Down.
Oh, by the way,
Is that
did
why
you
it keeps
see?
snowing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of tweeting and Instagramming, I Instagrammed out yesterday my fan cast for Bruce Wayne. You listening, Matt Reeves? Picked out some Bruce Waynes for you. Jensen Ackles is one. Carl Urban.
You mean Ackles?
Oh, that's why I was spelling it wrong.
My last name. Is,
Yeah, I spelled it like that. It still pulled it up.
It's Ackles.
Idris Elba would be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he'd make for a better Jon Stewart.
Oh, he'd be an awesome Jon Stewart.
Michael Fassbender, amazing. I like Jake
As Batman?
Gyllenhaal.
As Batman?
I thought they
Zero
wanted a
Batman.
younger
Well,
Batman.
yeah, it depends on what are they going
That's
for,
why-
young Batman or old Batman?
Would
they-
you count Carl Urban as younger Batman?
No.
Middle-aged Batman.
Middle-aged.
Because Ben Affleck, he's dropped out, right?
Yeah,
He's out.
He's all done.
So does that mean that we get to start at the beginning?
Still
Tom
whole.
Holland.
No, he's already Spider-Man.
He
and
could be
Nathan
both.
Drake.
I saw
Look,
rumors
Captain
that
America proved it wrong. Chris Evans,
that's true.
he was both.
But anyway, back to emails. Do we have any more?
Nope, that's it.
We had one that was a Things That Must Go, I think. But that's
Yep.
the Radio from Hell show. That's not us. So send it over there.
Insert joke. Hey, by the way, if you want to write to us, if you have any questions, most likely 100% we will read it on the show outside of the things that must go, but we love you. Go to gadgetspot.net and just scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And there's a
Check it out.
section right there. You can really just say anything to us. We'll take it. I don't care. We'll take it.
I'm still gonna reply to the things that must go. I'm just like I'm gonna reply to it and say, here you go, send a picture.
Hey,
There you go.
if he didn't write things that must go, what are the things that in your life that's got to go?
No,
Tobey Maguire, number one.
we don't do things that must go.
No,
All right,
we
That's
can't
not
do
our
this.
bit.
No, I 100% agree. Tobey Maguire, though, he's got to go.
All right.
I like him.
I'm glad you got your one thing in.
Nintendo Direct happened last week, and they announced a bunch of games. No hardware announcements or anything like that, but the big one that got everyone excited was a remake of Link's Awakening. It was a Game Boy game back in 93.
I
believe.
love
that
the
really when it came out?
Yeah, 1993.
I love the top-down Zelda games, starting with the SNES Zelda.
Link
to the Past.
Link to the Past, yeah.
I didn't like the NES Zelda at all.
The NES Zelda got weird. Did you ever play the second one?
No, the
That
side-scroller.
one is
That one's supposed to be
impossible.
yeah, super hard.
Given, though, that's the one that gave us Dark Link and the deity names. They were the names of cities in that game, and they just repurposed them.
Interesting.
But that game is so weird.
Yeah, so they're remaking Link's Awakening, and
Which is such a good game, and they got
did you actually play it?
Oh, dude, I played it twice. So I played it originally on the Game Boy, the Game Boy, and then they relaunched it when the Game Boy Color came out, and then added some extra stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see if they, redo it. Here's the thing: I was a little bit bummed when it came up, and like you can clearly see at the bottom, there's an asterisk that says, "This is not actual game footage." Right?
Well,
The
that was
cartoon-
only for the
cartoon.
FMV part.
Yeah, but then when it gets into the actual game,
It looks
my
cool.
gosh,
It
looks
it's
good.
So good.
It's top-down Zelda. It's not like Breath of the Wild.
It's not completely top. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
kind of like off to the side. Just
So-
a little bit.
Isometric is the word.
Since you played it on Game Boy, did they have like Goombas and
Oh,
things?
I read an article.
I'm confused by this.
I read an article that says if you look into that, you're going to get a spoiler that's halfway through the game that explains that. So
I hope it's
We're
not
not
in the
supposed
same
to-
universe as
we're not
Mario.
supposed to talk about.
Mario's universe sucks.
Oh,
Which-
man, them's
which-
fighting words.
Story-wise, I mean, I like the aesthetic. I like the Mario games.
No, just if you're a fan of Stockholm Syndrome, you'll really be into the Mario universe. Anywho, so in this Zelda game,
No,
it's
don't
crazy.
give away why there's.
No, I'm not
Oh,
going to talk about that. It's crazy when he's going through, and it's just like it brings back all those nostalgic feelings. Like I'm seeing him go
Right.
through, and I'm like, I know exactly where he is.
And that's exactly what they're shooting for with that.
That's what Nintendo is great at, nostalgia.
They tickle my nostalgia bone all the time, and I don't tell nobody.
Indeed.
You should.
They
Parent or guardian?
Yes.
Like a teacher?
No.
Like a scout leader? Or
Oh boy. A cardinal.
yeah. Tell your local clergyman. The
I got dark.
the other games that they announced. There was one I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember seeing it, and I was like,
Here, let me pull it
they're
up.
doing that game. It was
Well, they're remaking Assassin's Creed 3.
yeah,
The remastered.
I'd heard a rumor about that one, so they're doing that, which don't expect too much quote remastering unquote. But it was they announced Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for Switch in July, which that was only barely announced like back in November, I think.
And they announced Super Mario Maker 2.
Yep, Super Mario Maker 2. But there was a game that they announced that I was like, I can't believe Hellblade Sensuous Sacrifice is coming
right.
to the Switch.
That's interesting too.
Which is super interesting because that game is a bit of a tour de force graphically. That uses the Unreal 4 engine, and on like the X and the Pro and on PC, it looks really, really, really good. So I'm really curious how far they're gonna have to dumb those graphics down to work on the
It'll
Switch.
be like Wolfenstein 2, probably.
If they can still maintain graphical fidelity of Wolfenstein 2, I'll be surprised because
I mean, no, they already put Wolfenstein 2 out, remember?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll be surprised if it looks as good as that because
Got it.
Panic Button, who did the Wolfenstein 2, is like they are so good at putting games on the Switch. And secondly, the id Tech 6 engine or whichever version they're on for that game is way, way better optimized than the Unreal 4 engine. which is saying something because the Unreal 4 engine is usually pretty good. And they also announced James' new favorite game, Tetris 99.
Yeah, no, I want to correct what you said. Super Smash is still my favorite.
Oh, okay.
Respect. But that being said, Tetris 99, holy moly. Dude,
How does that
is
game
fun.
even work? Is it just you play
Dude,
Tetris?
I don't know. I don't understand half the controls. It doesn't teach you how to do a lot of stuff. But I just play Tetris.
And then how do you win?
You make it number one.
You just last longer than everyone
Spoken to
else?
somebody who's never made
If
it number
you
one.
don't like Tetris, is it still
mean,
fun?
It's free.
Yeah.
I made it
That's
to
a different F word.
I made it to 6.
Level 6? Oh, sixth place?
Now you're just mocking me.
No,
Did you see that?
I'm asking.
Here's the thing. So Super Smash Brothers. I don't know what's up, but I need characters. If you're gonna give me characters, give me GD characters.
Dude, there's like 75 characters
I know,
in that game.
but if you're gonna re-release, if you're gonna release new characters, give me the characters. Don't make me wait till April for another character. And it's Joker. Who the heck is Joker?
He's from the Persona series. As much as I really love Smash Brothers, I will say I think they missed the boat on the DLC. I think they're overcharging.
They're overcharging.
Totally
and it's so far
overcharging.
away.
Because what do they charge? Like, is it $5 a character
$5 a character, or it's $30,
or $30 for 6
Does anyone
characters?
care
Like,
about that when you already have 75 characters available?
I know, like it should be like $10 for all the characters.
Yeah.
all the DLC
That's why I'm not
characters.
super bummed that like I didn't get the plant one, and I'm like, okay.
You got 75 other ones
Yeah.
to choose from.
You
No.
haven't played as the Piranha Plant?
No.
Dude, that character's so much fun to play as.
no, I'm
I just
like,
tried him. I didn't like him too much.
Jaren, that was the only game you won.
Hey, I loved him.
when you played as Piranha
He was the
Plant.
best.
Super Mario Maker 2's coming.
Yeah, we mentioned that one. So if you're into the first one, it's probably just more of that
Hard
goodness.
pass.
They added
man.
slants, I heard.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Hard pass.
there was a video that everyone was excited about because it showed stairs, and then they turned the stairs into a slant.
If I was
So-
better at Mario, I think I'd like that game. but-
Same. Like I see some of the levels that some people make with that.
They're insane.
They're just insane.
It just doesn't
like,
seem like fun. At that point, it's like work.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you don't get paid.
I agree.
You just like
Too hard for me. I'm gonna pass.
put on timeout. However, mad respect to Nintendo for doing something that like you don't see very often. Hey,
Which
you know this
is-
game that you
What are you
really,
talking
really
about?
like that we could have made a boatload of money on, but it would have been a crappy game. We're gonna start it from the ground up.
What are we talking about?
Metroid.
Oh,
Oh
They-
yeah.
they delayed
way
it,
back.
and everyone's praising Nintendo because they
Well,
delayed it.
because
Yeah,
they
'cause they
they're
actually-
not afraid to scrap it and start over if it's not good.
And they
I do
actually
appreciate
apologized,
I do
too.
appreciate the openness of it.
yeah, I mean that's transparency you don't get from hardly any game developer.
Well, usually game developers don't announce it 3 years before it comes out.
I don't
They did
know.
with
There's
Toy
quite a
Story, the
few.
first one. And The
Kingdom Hearts
Incredibles.
was like 9 years ago.
Okay, there's some exceptions.
I heard that game is terrible, by the way.
I've heard good and bad. Either people I talk to either really like it or they really hate it.
That was a lukewarm answer.
There's no middle ground. There is no lukewarm in
There-
that game,
Oh.
from what I've read
Oh, okay.
and talked to.
It's a game that Goofy is your companion. It should be for kids.
I don't know.
That's what they said about Star Wars.
Did you know though that?
Speaking of which, do you want to hear my Star Wars? How I redid it?
No.
do you know who voices the main character in the Kingdom Hearts series?
The
Troy
woman
Baker?
who does Pikachu.
No,
Oh,
it's Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sixth Sense,
That's
and
funny.
most recently Future Man.
of the Osmonds?
No, Osment. Osment.
The little kid in Sixth Sense.
Patton Osmond.
Oh, gee.
No. How's that Red Bull coming? Let's see. So Nvidia is leaking a lot apparently because every tech website I've seen has posted these rumors about the upcoming GTX 1660 Ti.
Here's the thing.
I'm confused by this.
When you set certain expectations for your customers and then you let them down like they have, I'm not sad. I'm just disappointed. Full
So-
disclosure, I didn't read the article. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So the 1660 is basically it's like a 2070 almost, not quite,
Without the ray tracing.
without the ray tracing stuff. Basically, well, no, it wouldn't be a 2070 because all the leaks and rumors I've seen pointed at a little more powerful than a 1070.
Which
So-
isn't that just a 1080
It
then?
would be a 1070 Ti.
How many different
Yeah, they,
slots are they going to put themselves into?
they have a lot.
If you want a power level of 6, buy this. If you want a power level of 6.25, buy this one.
The worst part about this leak is I see a lot of websites reporting that it's going to be faster than a Titan X. They put that on their headline. 1660 Ti, faster than a Titan X for $329. What they don't say until you get in and read the article is it's referring to the Titan X Maxwell edition,
Right.
which is 2 generations old.
That seems like
of course it's faster.
that seems
than
a little
Come on.
shady.
Yeah, it's terrible reporting. Shame on all of you that posted that. But yeah, so Nvidia hasn't officially announced this, but it looks like it's probably going to be on the way in the next couple of months.
Speaking of NVIDIA, they finally put out deep learning super sampling.
DLSS, Jaren's savior for 4K 60. He's been waiting for this for months.
DLSS for Battlefield 5 and Metro Exodus.
Yep.
And as Tony said, I've been waiting for this for months. I've been so excited for it to come out. It finally came out, and yes, it does achieve 60 FPS, ultra ray tracing
man.
on 4K.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth calling it 4K. It looks bad.
It looks as bad as 1440p, which doesn't look bad if you have a 1440p monitor, but it is not 4K like they promised.
No, it's not even close.
Yeah, it looks like somebody scrubbed Vaseline all over your monitor. To their credit, they say that they're huge machine learning computers. They're still processing it, and it'll look better over time. But at this point, I don't know if I believe them because it's just so bad right now.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to increase it that much. You were saying in a conversation we were having a couple days ago that the checkerboard rendering on a lot of console games looks better.
Oh, yeah. The checkerboarding on Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War, it looks phenomenal. It looks almost full-on 4K.
Almost real 4K.
This, it looks like trash. It's horrible. You get better results when you downsample to like 80-85% of 4K. It takes just as much GPU headroom, and you get a much sharper picture than using their DLSS.
Yeah, it's really crazy that they would release something so half-baked, especially after hyping it up for as much as they did.
It looks like you're going from ultra textures to low textures.
Wow.
And that, I'm not exaggerating. It's that blurry. It's just crazy how blurry it is.
Yeah.
So
that's too bad.
Yeah, they really hyped that up. I think ray tracing looks phenomenal, and the performance hit isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be after DICE for Battlefield has released many updates. The performance is actually pretty good on ray tracing now. And Metro, I hear the ray tracing looks awesome on it.
I've watched several videos, and if you want a good example, watch that Digital Foundry Metro Exodus PC video. It's like 29 minutes long, and I didn't realize it till it was over because it was that interesting. But
the lighting looks so good.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks like there's some scenes where it looks like pre-rendered. It's just so good.
It's as close to photorealistic as I've ever seen outdoor scene be.
So at this point, DLSS is a bummer. Ray tracing is awesome, but the performance isn't perfect for ray tracing at this point.
Yep. Okay. Also, this is really, I found this and it was really random, but I really thought it was cool. Any of you guys have sleep apnea or know someone that does?
Yep.
Do you?
I do not, but
you know someone who does?
Yeah.
I have a baby at my house that's training me as if I did.
So have you seen like the, what do they call those, CPAPs that they wear at night? It goes over their nose and like forces.
Isn't that the face hugger thing?
Yeah, it forces air down their throat so that they don't, their body doesn't keep waking them up to try and help them breathe.
How do people fall asleep with that on their face?
I don't know.
They don't want to die.
I think that's,
So they do that instead of dying.
At some point in time, do you start feeling like that? Because as of right now, what were you saying?
So there's a company out there that has created basically what amounts to a sleep apnea pacemaker. And what it does is it puts a sensor up on the muscles in the back of your throat in that area that usually just closes off when people with sleep apnea fall asleep. And then another sensor by their lungs or their heart, I can't remember which, that measures whenever the person goes to breathe, right? And then it sends a signal up to those muscles in their neck to open.
So it's like a nose strip up for your throat.
Basically, yeah. And it goes off your own body's rhythm. And so there's
What happens if you have a power outage?
Well, no, it's
Probably
built in.
operated.
It's battery operated like a
What
pacemaker.
happens if your battery goes dead?
well, then you have sleep apnea again.
And then you die.
No, maybe.
So who
But
do you
probably
sue?
not.
Energizer? I don't know.
So they just put it in someone, and like it wasn't their obviously it wasn't their first because they've done human testing, but it was the first person in Salt Lake that got it. I read this on KSL, and the guy's like, it's made a night and day difference, and he can't do the CPAP thing, just doesn't work for him. But he says with this he can breathe at night. He wakes up, feeling like he got a good night's sleep. But it's like we're having all of these different devices that you can implant into your body now.
I actually love biohacking. I follow that pretty closely.
It's crazy stuff. Like my wife got the spinal cord stimulator to block pain signals coming up from her feet and legs. Obviously, we've had pacemakers for decades, but now it's like a pacemaker to help you breathe at night when you sleep.
implanted.
It's implanted.
Crazy.
It's very crazy, interesting stuff.
So the FDA has approved that.
Yeah, it's all done,
Approved?
and
That's cool.
it's ready to go to
I
market.
have many people on my wife's side of the family who have sleep apnea, and they sleep with a CPAP.
Yeah.
And it sucks because camping.
Oh
like,
yeah, you got to
trying
take the
to go-
CPAP with you.
Like you can't go anywhere like really rough in it unless you have
Or
a battery.
you don't go camping, which is the solution I would prefer.
That's your solution for camping in general.
We
Yeah.
we invented
Mine
the
too.
indoors to get away from the outdoors. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. You're actually right. But sometimes we pay a lot of money to still go into the outdoors and then sleep there.
Yeah, I wonder how.
But yeah, this
It
would
makes
be
you appreciate the indoors.
this would completely solve that issue. Apparently, there's steps and things you have to go through before you get approved for one. Like they won't just hand it out willy nilly.
To go camping?
No, to get a CPAP,
Cool.
to get this sleep apnea device installed, but it's $20,000 the device by itself. So,
Is that like?
Wow.
I'm assuming insurance probably doesn't pay for any of that.
I have no idea. It probably depends on your insurance.
Or if
But
it's if you get it prescribed, it probably comes as a medical device.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you have insurance that pays for it. If you have insurance that it will pay for it, rather, or at least a big chunk of it.
I have insurance.
But very, very interesting the way that biohacking is going these days. So Amazon has gone on another buying spree for companies, and they picked up a Wi-Fi company.
A beloved Wi-Fi company, and now people are mad.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah. Well, so Eero, it's one of the first mesh Wi-Fi routers out there. And mesh Wi-Fi, that's when you have multiple access points throughout the house, and it uses fancy mesh network stuff to make your Wi-Fi extremely reliable.
Yeah.
And everyone loves them because they work great. So they were a independent company. There was no large company owning them, which is pretty rare nowadays, if you're not owned by Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, whatever. And then they're making it on their own. And now Amazon decides to go up and buy them, and everyone's mad because, well, Amazon, they like their data. They like their marketing.
That's like a straight data fountain from each home.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Even
that's
maybe,
the source. They're
maybe
like, how do
even
we get
more so than an Alexa.
Yeah, they're like, how do we? Yeah, it has everything you do.
Speaking of Alexa, though, I think there is a good opportunity here to merge the Eero Wi-Fi access points with an Echo.
That would be interesting.
It'd be really cool because you have an Echo anyway in your room.
If you have kids, you'd be like, Alexa, disable internet for Patrick.
Yeah, but like, what are you? I think I'm hesitant to go with that because that's like the final. What else is there as far as network access in your home besides the Wi-Fi access point where everything's going through? Like
that's the bottleneck.
that's the key.
Yeah.
That's like the mecca for them for data.
But it'd be cool though if they merged it with an Echo because you would get rid of one of the devices that you need around the house and just combine it all into the Echo. But we'll see what they do with it. They say that they're not going to change any of their privacy policy stuff. But then they say at the moment.
At the moment.
At the moment.
Let me give the old lady like false. Like they're gonna just quietly change it like they always do. Their terms of service
I was
are gonna
gonna say,
just quietly.
Unless you read the terms of service every time,
They
they could
talk to
slip it in there and you
McDonald's.
wouldn't know.
A new McRib comes out. That's when all of the companies change their terms of service.
Just like all the companies were like, we won't change our terms of service when net neutrality is taken away,
And they all did.
they quietly did. Now we've got the telecom providers selling our data from their side, and Amazon's going to go after our data from the inside on our LAN, which is kind of like that's the last bastion, you
Yeah.
know. And that's Amazon. And all the wired and smart assistants are trying to infiltrate that space. And that's
true.
Anyway,
Speaking of internet service providers, SpaceX is trying to get in on that.
they are. They got approval to put their. They got approval to put their like 1,000 or something satellites up into space.
12,000?
12,000. Sorry.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's what Elon wanted to do for a while, right?
It's
Yeah,
part
he
of
wanted
it's
to-
part of his master plan.
You
yeah.
said it again, Elon.
No, I said
Elon.
Elon.
You're messing with me, man.
So
You're messing with me.
Because he wanted to give out free Wi-Fi to the world, right?
So that's his deal. He's got 11,000, close to 12,000 satellites in orbit.
Is it going to be free when he gets it up and running?
They don't know. I don't know about
No,
that.
it can't be free. That's their big money maker.
Yeah,
That's how they
how-
plan to make money.
SpaceX?
Yeah.
But now he's gotten FCC approval
to actually do it.
put his million ground devices in. You need something to provide the signal.
Oh, the receivers.
The receivers on the ground. And so he got approval, or he hasn't got approval. I take that back. They have submitted their request at the beginning of February to get approval for their 1.1 million receivers on the ground.
So when all the robots take over.
Yeah,
They'll be able to communicate worldwide
yeah.
easily.
This
Yeah.
is how Skynet takes over.
Well, they just crank it up like a microwave.
Yeah.
They have the ground ones communicate with the
Yeah, they're just like,
outer
hey,
space ones.
they're like, hey, we use this frequency to transmit data, but if we tweak this frequency enough, it just becomes a giant microwave and we kill all the people.
We're going to be like jelly beans down here, man.
We'll just pop.
Not even
like
the good
popcorn.
ones, like a grass flavored.
Anyway,
The curious part about the curiosity I have is you're still talking about a satellite connection.
yes.
Which that's fine if you want to do light browsing or streaming.
Right.
But
If you've ever used a WISP, a wireless internet service like Verizon or whatever.
the lag on it is going to be
It's still
prohibitive to things like gaming
Voice.
or voice over internet
Yep.
protocol.
Well, with the current technology, maybe they have something
They don't.
that will improve it.
Something that's faster than light.
No,
Maybe.
I think this is
No.
I think this is a sly competition against Google's Loon program.
Yeah.
You know, their internet everywhere. Which, to be fair, like the internet changes lives. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the age of communication. There's some countries that don't even have this type of communication. You know, and it's
And I
so
think
restricted.
It would be a super great foot in the door for them.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
For them to have access.
I mean, and Tesla and Elon Musk have already shown their propensity to take, advantage of natural disasters,
sure.
like they did in Puerto Rico for the power supply, and there's a couple other places where like that's been devastated. Their infrastructure's been devastated, and they come in and they're like, yeah, we'll put a solar grid with our batteries here and renewable and all that. So I know it's part of his key plan. For everything, but yeah, they put in their approval to put their ground stations in, basically their receivers, which is very strange. The article made it sound like there'd be one per business.
Almost like each business has
Would have a dedicated like
Wi-Fi
like
router.
like space fiber to the home, you know.
Huh.
Anyway,
Space fiber.
yeah,
Space air fiber.
space air fiber,
That'd be really cool.
space data to the phone.
It's definitely one of those things where in like super remote areas it'd be really, really good.
Oh, well, the
Yeah,
fact that
wouldn't matter where you are. You get the same internet coverage.
yeah, you get lost at sea, guess what? Just pop open your hand phone
Yep.
and bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like we were just talking about mesh Wi-Fi networks. This is the ultimate
It would be a mesh around
Wi-Fi
covering
network.
the whole globe,
Now,
basically.
again, data,
Or-
all data would flow through this, and all data would become a big data set.
I mean, honestly, all your data flows through level 3
That's
CenturyLink.
yeah, but you're kind
right
of a
now
a
anyway.
needle in a haystack. Once you have your own receiver, you become a demographic.
That's true.
You know?
You're right about that.
You're making it sound like the force right now. Like let it flow through you.
It will flow
Welcome
through
to
the
networking.
network.
That's all. He stole that
Binds us.
from the internet, from networking.
Speaking of
Anyway.
the force, you want to know what I?
No.
Oh, no.
Nope.
I'm
So
gonna get it in by the end of the show, guys.
I got this article from
Yeah,
Squinky
you will.
that you got to check this video out that he sent me. It's a YouTube video of a team at gosh, I can't remember the turn it off. I didn't want to.
I bought two
I
more
can't-
Waze cams really quick, just a heads up
Oh,
while you're
nice.
loading that
Well,
up.
I mean, it is.
Wise cams.
It
They're
is-
only like, is that really how you pronounce it?
W-Y-Z.
It's wise.
Dude, they're
We are
so
recording, so-
cheap and so affordable.
I mean, we are
And you can
recording, so you have to buy something.
And your
Yeah.
and you know you can daisy chain those.
what?
You can power them off of each other. You can daisy chain those to each other.
Why would you need more than one camera in an area?
If you're doing multiple like angles for an entry. Sorry.
So what's this grilled cheese thing I'm looking at?
Yeah, I found it. Carnegie Mellon University, a team of students at Carnegie Mellon University created
Is this a robot?
a machine that you can use Google Assistant with that makes grilled cheese sandwiches.
And when you say Google Assistant, really you're just initiating the first command for it to start.
Yeah, basically. Hey Google, make me a grilled cheese sandwich, and it starts this robot that now admittedly it's a crappy grilled cheese sandwich because it's just 2 slices of bread and a piece of cheese.
No butter.
No butter, no like extra cheese or anything like that.
I love the name Cheeseborg.
But it's just cool that you could say, hey, make me a grilled cheese sandwich. And then it starts making a grilled cheese sandwich.
Until it turns around and is just like, what is my purpose?
To make grilled cheese sandwiches.
Sorry, Dave.
Oh, God.
Good old Rick and Morty right there. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. You got to go to our show notes on our website and check that out. Making a grilled cheese, uses a panini press and makes a grilled cheese sandwich.
It just lowers it down on a wire.
Yeah.
It's just really just this robotic.
It's super simple.
It's super simple.
But it's just funny that
I'm
someone
all
decided
for it.
to make it.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Automated kitchen, come to my house, please.
Oh, I'm reading what you call it, the Expanse series.
Oh, yeah.
And they have not food replicators like Star Trek, but something more realistic, where they take your ships are loaded with inventory of like base ingredients, and then the basically it's kind of like a 3D printer that takes the base ingredients and makes your food right there for you. Pretty cool. I think that we'll eventually get there, but
Potato paste with
basically.
tomato paste.
And
French fries.
And it has a way to like
You got potatoes.
it has a way to print the French fries.
Yeah.
And it hardens them, I guess, or something. But
It 3D prints a
yeah,
potato.
3D prints a French fry or a potato. But
Wouldn't that mean that all you need to do is just eat whatever's in the spool and it'll keep you healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the like last ditch resort if you needed to.
But
So
it's
you're
like
just-
saying you eat a raw potato without cooking it. Same thing.
Yeah,
The
You
ingredients are still there.
you could just eat it, but it's gross.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten a raw potato?
It's
No,
nasty,
but speaking
James.
of eating stuff,
Nasty.
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. We got mailed Vegemite.
Oh, you
and
forgot it
Tim
again?
Tams. Yeah, 100%.
Dang it!
I know. I'm
Next
sorry.
time.
So
I
that's
need to
just-
set a reminder.
It's just like I'm slow to the joke, but it's like the Juicero where they're like, "Don't open the package."
Yeah, except Juicero
I forgot about Juicero.
Juicero didn't do anything to the juice.
Yeah,
it
it was
just
horrible.
It just
They're like-
squoze it out
And
of
they
the
were
bag.
like, please don't open the bag.
Don't look behind the curtain. Don't
please,
look behind the curtain.
Please don't look behind this $3,000 machine.
I
this
couldn't
is just
believe
a
that.
juice bag. It's
It
a
was.
bladder of juice.
That's all it was, and they billed it as like some sort of
Oh.
juice maker.
Oh.
Well, to be
device.
fair, it had pulp, so you just squeeze it and the juice came out of the pulp, but you could do that with your own bare hands.
Yeah, that's the thing. They,
Please don't open the bag.
Please don't,
They're
guys.
giving refunds now.
Guys, I thought you said you weren't going to do it.
come
I thought we were
on.
cool.
You did it. You did it anyway, even though we asked you nicely not to ruin our
And then it
business
turns
model.
into our fault.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Apex Legends because Jaren and I have been playing it a fair amount,
It's
and
good.
we're really enjoying it.
It is the awesomest free-to-play game
Do you
I've ever
feel?
played.
Do you feel like you have to do in-game purchases to make it fun?
I
No,
don't.
not at all.
I don't.
So you start
Do you
with.
feel at a disadvantage if you don't?
No.
No.
Because
What
you know there
systems is it
people
on?
are.
Everything.
I think it's everything.
Yeah, it's
Is it
on
even on Switch?
PS4? No.
minus Switch.
PS4, Xbox. Yeah, it demands too much.
It uses a highly modified version of the Source engine.
Yeah.
Like modified to the point where you almost can't recognize that it's a Source engine game.
So the things you can buy are cosmetics, which I don't care about at all. And then there's 2 characters you can buy. But if you play it enough, you can unlock them.
Yeah, you can grind for the characters or you can just buy them outright.
And I will never grind enough to get them, I'm sure. But who cares?
I don't know. I mean, it's I think 12,000 credits to get one of them. And I haven't played a whole ton, probably a total of like 4 hours. And I'm already at like 5,000 credits. So I think you could get there.
Maybe 1.
Yeah. But
It's a solid game, though.
it's a super solid game.
Is that the Titanfall game?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
core mechanics are very similar to Titanfall.
Does it have the smart pistol?
No, that would be a game breaker.
There's no double jump and there's no wall running. That's the main
Then
disappointment.
It's not Titanfall.
But everything else is so great. I really like it.
Is there a slide?
Yeah, they have a slide mechanic that's
Do
better.
they have Titans?
Better than Titanfall. No, I read an article that they were interviewed and they said they tried really hard to put Titans in, but they couldn't get a balance to where Titans didn't overpower someone to the point where they're basically a god in the game, and then they could weaken the Titans, but then it just felt like you're in a paper mache Titan, and it's like, what's the point?
To that, it's just do what you do in the levels. You have like a a very condensed closed area that the Titans can't get into.
Time limit.
Maybe.
Time
And then a
limit.
time limit in the Titans.
And they
Mac
did
time limit. Like,
they did say that they're going to keep trying to see if they can figure out a way to implement it.
yeah,
And
they just need to do a mech time limit where it's like already in damage mode and you have 30 seconds to be in it.
They
Then
do
you're out.
have like Overwatch style characters, so each character does something different.
That's one of the things
They
that
have their
makes
own specialty.
yeah, this unique as a battle royale, among other things, is heroes.
Yeah.
And so you have like some healers. You have actually, there's only one healer, but there's some like more assault-oriented characters. Some that are good at tracking. But overall, the presentation is more polished than any other battle royale on the market right now.
Feels easier to get into. Also,
Yeah, which is
it
crazy.
just makes more sense.
For
So-
it being a battle royale, how do you feel about like the getaway factor? Like if somebody's shooting at you, do you automatically die like you do
No.
in PUBG?
No,
This is
Actually-
what I like about this. You
Yeah.
have a chance to live.
Have you guys actually killed anybody?
Oh
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the top position you guys made?
yeah, I won a game.
I was in the top 2 teams, but that's
How many
because
teams were there?
You
30,
start out with 20
20. Yeah.
because there's 60 people and everyone's on teams of 3. It matchmakes you with 3 people if you don't have your own party.
Do you play with the
2 other
headset so
people.
you guys can communicate with them?
Yeah, well,
You don't need to.
Here's the other thing that sets battle Apex Legends apart is they have this new system where you can point at stuff. I think we mentioned this last time. You can look at something and hit a button. It'll say like this type of gun is over here, and everyone on your team will hear it. Or there's a bad guy over there. You just hit this button and I'll highlight him and tell everyone on your team, bad guy this way. Or you hover over a spot you want to go to and you hit the button and it pings that spot and says, let's go check out over here.
So you don't
Like,
need to talk to
You
people.
don't need to
It's
talk
great.
to people.
Now, how many people are in a group right now?
3.
Because they're looking to change that.
They're probably going to expand
Solos and
decrease.
duos,
Yeah, solos
right?
and duos, which would be awesome because sometimes you just want to play by yourself, you know.
Right.
But the other thing that makes this battle royale unique is the respawn ability. You can die, and if they can't revive you, you can go to the person that died's their box and grab their little they call it a banner, and get it to a respawn point and hit the button, and they come back. So you can bring characters back that have already died.
So you could set somebody like to be like the healer, run like the
Yeah.
respawner.
yeah.
There was this one game I landed with my team, and there was another team right in front of us. Everyone had guns. I went up to them, punched 2 guys, downed one of them, killed another guy just by punching. I felt like a god.
I'm a punching god.
That's my favorite thing about some video games when you play them. It's like you retell the stories afterwards.
Yeah.
You know it's a good game when you do that.
Yep. And so I would say Apex Legends has the uniqueness and quality and probably lasting power to challenge something like Fortnite,
Yeah.
I think.
And they're such a great dev. Titanfall 2 was awesome. It just didn't get much traction, though. But Apex is doing so well that it's boosted Titanfall 2's player count.
Yeah, which is crazy to
Yeah.
think about.
Like up a bunch, like 10K on the Xbox alone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Another thing that happened too is there's a game called Apex something else on Steam that is a VR game and has obviously nothing to do with Apex Legends, but it sold more copies in China last week than it did its entire release time up until that point because
They're like, yes!
they kept confusing it with Apex Legends.
But after like only a week, Apex has 25 million registrations
Yeah.
for that game.
Well, and the other crazy
active
part
players, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
other crazy part about it is if you look on Twitch, which has been for a long time now Fortnite's domain.
Yeah.
You know, it was the largest
Well, you got to see those dancers.
right, largest streaming.
Where else am I going to see Ninja in real time?
Mm-hmm.
He plays Apex Legends now.
That's my question is
They've
like,
almost all the big streamers have moved over to Apex Legends
For now.
well, it's
for
because they're
now,
probably
for now.
bored from playing the last
I'm
game
sure-
for 12 hours a day.
I'm sure that's a factor for sure, but like 2 days after it came out, it went from 400 plus thousand of streamers on Fortnite down to like 110,000 streamers, and there were 450,000 Apex Legends
Is
streamers.
there a place that you can go in real time online and like select games, and it shows you tickers of how many people are estimatedly playing a game at once?
I have no idea.
Oh.
That's a good question, because that would be interesting to see. I know that usually when you get into a game, or at least it used to be that way, you could see how many active players there were. Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty did
Couldn't you see
that,
that in
or
like
maybe does that.
GameSpy?
Um,
Remember that?
I don't know.
That little browser? Freaking
I know that there's a way. I don't know if it's public facing, but Steam knows, and they've talked about numbers sometimes of the most
Well, it's the
played
same with
game
Netflix.
and things
Like,
like
they won't tell you about the views,
Exactly,
but,
they know their numbers, but they
I just want to see how many plays The Office has had. That's all I want.
a million billion.
Before we move on from games really quick that we've been playing, I just remembered something.
What?
Guys, have you ever played the board game Betrayal at House on the Hill by any chance?
No.
Nope.
It's like D&D Light. Have you ever heard of legacy board games? Like the type of game legacy board games?
Nope.
No.
I have nothing to add to this conversation.
No. I know
Sorry,
we have
man.
some board game fans listening to this podcast. Talk about it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the TLDR. If you haven't played Betrayal at House on the Hill, I'll bring it next time we record if I remember, just like I did with the Vegemite and everything else.
And our stepladders.
What were you going to say, Owen?
I was just giving a concerned bone. I don't like House on the Hill.
Oh, have you played it?
Oh, it is a horror board game,
Yeah, I
but it's
know.
a board game.
Yeah, it's true.
Here's the thing.
How long does it take to play though? Like a
I
couple
played
hours?
I played it in an hour. It's like D&D Light.
I don't think Owen's down with board games.
Yeah, I'm not really.
It's
I get
different
bored.
because in the beginning
Wah,
we
wah.
worked together
Wah.
to discover a house, and you walk through room to room and you flip over tiles and you discover what's in the house, and depending on what's in the room, you activate events, you gather items, you basically build your character. Right? It is D&D Light. There's no like, I don't know, things that you got to fill out along the way. There's nothing like that.
That
But
sounds like fun.
If you guys are down, we
But-
can do it next time.
halfway through, you go through the house and you find omens, and then every time you find an
Find-
omen, you have to make a haunt roll.
You find Owens?
Yeah, you
I
find
found
omens.
one. Woohoo!
I found an Owen.
First
But-
time he's been looking for me.
If you find too many omens and you roll wrong, depending on the room that you found the omen in, what's called the haunt starts, and one of you guys becomes the traitor, and then it becomes
Ooh, can it be me?
everybody.
Please let it
except
be me.
one person. It depends. It's different every game.
Oh.
Maybe.
There's like hundreds of different scenarios in the game. Anywho, long story short, Legacy Games is just it's basically that, except you start out with this small little thing, right? And then you play one game, and depending on the outcome of that game, you play 14 times. It's usually over like 14 weeks, and you get together. And every time you play, there's cards that you rip up. There's cards that you add.
Oh, dang.
It's fully custom. And by the time you get done with it, you have a different kind of Betrayal at House on the Hill game. But they also have it with like Pandemic. Have you guys ever played Pandemic?
This
There's a
sounds-
legacy version of that.
Someone was my brother-in-law was explaining Gloomhaven to me, and
It might be-
I've heard
that
so much
sounds
about
like,
that.
That sounds like he was what he was explaining with Gloomhaven.
Oh
a
man,
little
you
bit.
guys really like Betrayal. Owen is like 100% against it right now. You should see his face.
Oh no, that's fine.
No, let's just bring like
board
pizza
game-
or something,
It
and
could
then
be.
he'd be
Well,
in.
I
it
mean-
could be candy. It could be what's that candy one?
Candyland?
I just board
Candy
games-
Crush?
Candyland. It's a board game.
I never played it.
D-
You didn't play Candyland
I
as a
played
kid?
Shoots and Ladders.
Shooting ladders.
Candyland's a little bit.
What's the
Does
other
that
one?
make you motion sick
Settlers-
also, Owen?
Settlers of Catan. I just every
No,
time
Settlers of Catan
I
is
sit down to
love
play a board game,
Settlers.
I know that it's just such a time commitment that I'm like, how am I gonna go
This
look
one
at
will
Reddit?
keep you engaged though.
How am I gonna go waste
Because
my
in the beginning,
time
you got to
online?
be selfish.
I say
It's
we
all
give it a
about you.
shot. Get James out of the house and out of work for a night. It'll be good.
Yeah. I'd do it for you, James. I'd play that game
I'll
for
buy
you.
you pizza if you do.
Well, you already won me over. That's really the only way people get me to play board
Let's-
games.
It's
Offer free
easy.
food.
Let's see a smile, Owen. Let's see a smile. Oh,
All right. Let's see. Also,
That
this
hurt.
was announced last week. Unreal 4 engine has officially added ray tracing. Woo! So that's pretty cool.
who's Ray?
I don't know, but they're tracing around him. So that
hate
should
myself.
be coming to Unreal Engine 4 games relatively soon. That's about all that announcement had in it. They didn't announce any games specifically. So 2 other things that we want to talk about, I think, before we close.
Follow us on Reddit, by the way, and you can find where you can find us on Reddit in our URL, gadgetspot.net. Go there, ask us a question,
You tell them.
join our Discord.
Jaren wants to talk about lessons he learned from building a PC.
Building a PC is both satisfying and
Infuriating.
full of despair at the
Yeah.
same time. And there's things I've learned that I want to pass on to you, dear listener. It might make your life easier, you know, because there's so many times when something goes wrong and you think it's like your hardware's going bad, you know. I had this particular problem.
You felt. I think you must have texted me at least 3 times, thinking different aspects of your hardware were going bad.
And spoiler, it wasn't my hardware.
All of the hardware's fine.
Yeah,
Software, Windows.
it's either BIOS settings or something weird. So anyway, here are lessons learned from building a PC from a novice perspective. I don't consider myself a novice anymore. I was a novice. I've overcome that. I now feel like I'm somewhat proficient.
Journeyman.
Now you're a yes-vis.
I'm
Not a novice.
I'm a yes-vis.
Oh.
And so I'm not going to talk about everything because obviously there's so many aspects of building a PC, but these are here are the things that really stuck out at me. First one, and I got to thank Tony for this one because I actually didn't have a problem with this, but after all the issues I've gone through, I'm very thankful that I have this. A good power supply.
Ba-bam.
Yes.
Always, never skimp.
I love this
You gotta-
sentence so far.
You gotta know your rails.
Oh, is that
right?
the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
Always never skimp.
Never skimp on.
Always.
Never skimp on a power supply. It's
Give
like
yourself like a 30% overhead
at
for
least
what you need.
Well, I would say 40% honestly, because here's the thing about power supplies: they have that rating, titanium, platinum, whatever.
This is efficiency, right?
That efficiency rating is calculated at 50% power. 50% of what their max output is. So if you have a card, if you have a computer that uses 600 watts and you buy a 650 watt power supply, you're not going to get that titanium efficiency or gold efficiency. You surpass the specifications. Anyway, sorry, Jaren.
Yeah, so good power supply. Like they said, buy one more powerful than you think you'll need because down the road you'll upgrade something.
That's another factor.
Yes, and something I learned from a couple weeks ago, Mass Effect Andromeda is a horrible, buggy PC application. The game looks fun to me, but the actual game is like buggy.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's this one point where I would get onto the train, it would trigger this video, it would completely shut off my PC, power everything.
Goodbye.
And I'm like, how was the game causing this? It turned out that the game was...
It's so poorly optimized and coded.
It was so poorly optimized that it required so much power from my GPU at this moment when it triggered a video that because I didn't have my GPU plugged into my power supply properly, it triggered the voltage check.
It tripped it.
Yeah, basically.
It tripped the over voltage protection and just shut off my PC.
Because he had his power coming from one rail
Yeah, so it turns out
For both cards.
for the one card.
Oh, that's right.
Because
You got the one card.
dual
That's
pin
Yeah.
Right.
or dual 8-pin.
So on your power supply, there's multiple rails. Each rail has its own voltage rating, and so I had since my video card requires 2 8-pin cables, I had both those cables plugged into the same rail. So I looked it up, figured it out. I plugged it into a separate rail. That problem went away.
Problem solved.
Yep. Okay. Point number 2, cooling is important.
Who'da thunk?
When I was a console gamer, Tony would always talk about his temperatures, and I'm like, you're an idiot, man. As long as it works, I don't care.
That's not. No. No.
Yes.
Sounded like you had a small stroke. It's not.
I think I did.
So if you want to overclock your card at all, and the new RTX cards are great for overclocking because it's all handled automatically. It's still even under warranty if you overclock those particular cards. And the overclocking potential is great with those. Anyway, if you want to overclock anything, you need good cooling. And if you just want to run your hardware and keep it in tip-top shape, you need good cooling. So the stock fan that comes with your case probably isn't enough. I upgraded to 3 fans, and it really helped quite a bit. And
How loud is it now, though?
it's not that bad, actually.
Nice.
If you want to go full mega awesome like Tony does, get a liquid cooler. I'm not fully mega awesome at this point.
Make sure your case supports the all-in-one liquid coolers if you're going to convert your GPUs to that. Otherwise, they end up just sitting there in the case looking bad. Make sure you have places to mount them is what I'm saying.
Point number 3, get an NVMe boot drive.
Oh, yeah.
They are super cheap right now. I saw a 500 gig one for, I think, $60.
60?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean,
This is-
it
this
wasn't
is-
the best brand,
This
but
is your latest upgrade, right?
yeah.
You switched from just a standard solid state?
It's from from standard solid state to just an NVMe drive.
By
I-
standard, everyone, he means SATA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a Samsung 970 Evo. It is so dang fast, man. It feels like my PC. It feels like going from hard drive to SSD.
It's one of those things that's like
Wow.
once you make that switch, it usually takes longer to post than it does to load the OS,
Yeah.
or at least really close.
So get a small NVMe drive because the big ones are super expensive, and just keep your games on a separate drive. It's just the best way to do it for sure.
Yep.
Point number 4: decide what resolution monitor you want before you consider your GPU.
This is good advice.
Before I got my 2080 Ti, I had my two 1070s that I used as mining cards, and I was just looking at monitors like, oh, I want a 4K monitor because I have a 4K TV. Yeah. Well, it didn't work out too well with those 1070s. Yeah. So moving on, know your BIOS, but don't screw with it too much.
Yep.
That's the problem that I'm having right now.
Change one
Do I
thing.
need to update that sometime?
It wouldn't hurt.
Change one
I'm
thing at a
afraid to
time.
go into it.
If you're not having problems, don't touch it.
Yeah, you don't really need.
That's
Now-
where I'm at.
now,
I just don't want to touch anything.
There's a caveat though. If the manufacturer of your board suggests an update, even if you're not having problems, you should do it.
Yeah.
And if you're on a really new chipset like I was with the Ryzen 7 when it first came out, those are definitely upgrades you want to do along the way as well, because the BIOS makes everything more stable and quicker and things like that. But for things like Intel stuff, not a whole lot changes from BIOS revision to BIOS
Yeah.
revision on that.
I have a question. If you're a pleb like me, where do you go to see that stuff?
It's right when it boots up. You have to either press the delete key or some F9, F10 key or whatever.
So in Windows 10, hold Shift when you restart, and it'll give you the option to boot into the UEFI firmware.
So if you are on UEFI, yeah, you press Shift, restart, and then it'll let you do that. If you're not on UEFI, that won't work.
Yeah, you have to go old school with the delete button.
And you have to set up UEFI when you install Windows. And so don't mess with the UEFI settings if you don't plan on reinstalling Windows, because there's a whole world of hurt, which caused like at least 100 blue screens for me about a month ago. So don't mess with your BIOS settings unless you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And last point for me, your PC will age and won't always be top of the line. Don't freak out.
That's
This-
mainly for Jaren.
This is, yeah.
Me as well, actually. Oh, man, especially when games like Metro Exodus come out that I've been looking forward to for like 2 years, and I see the ray tracing goodness, even though I don't need an RTX card, I want
Keep
one.
Why don't you
keep
just
saying
get
that over.
one?
Keep
I'm
saying
not
that
gonna
over and
do it.
over.
I'm not gonna do it.
He's waiting for the 20.
There's always going to be something
the
better.
The
Yeah.
30. He's waiting for the 3080 series.
I really want to see if I can wait for the next ones. I'm going to try really hard, but as of right now, especially, I'm not spending $1,200 to play one game with ray tracing.
Tony.
Shut up, James. I don't wanna hear it.
Here's the thing.
Nope.
Here's the thing. Before I had
Nope.
our kid, there was a
Nope.
lot of things that I'm like, should I get this? I don't think I should get this. I don't know. But if it
Oh.
brings you like genuine happiness,
I see what you're. I see where you're going.
you
with
know what I
this.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just the grass is always greener, and I get it. But get it.
I can't do it.
I've loved my 2080 Ti.
I know.
Ray tracing has been a disappointment, but the card's so powerful that it just runs everything so great. It's so much better than my two 1070s that I had.
I was ready to upgrade before they had the official announcement of the 2080 Ti, because I assumed, like everyone else, that it would be the same price as the 1080 Ti when it launched, $800 or whatever. And when they threw down that $1,200 for the 2080 Ti, like that soured me to it.
Well,
I can't
technically
get over that.
$1,000 now. They have $1,000 cards out now.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna buy that one.
Yeah, they're just
Come
not as
on.
good.
I'm gonna buy the $1,400 one with liquid cooling and all the temperature sensors you could imagine.
Yep. So that's it for me.
I have a problem. Cool.
It's only a problem
those
if you admit it.
no, that just makes the problem easier to deal with, hopefully.
By the way, I dropped a Reddit link in there. Go check it out in our show notes. It's basically just gives you a bunch of like good
that's the next
cheap.
thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a bunch of stuff that I'm sure our listeners already understand and know that's important, like good surge protectors,
Stuff,
good iPhone chargers.
important gadgets that are usually less than $50.
Yeah, but the one that stood out to me, and if you go click through it, they actually have a link to it. It's a $20 like dash cam. Like, That's kind of a no-brainer. You should always have a dash cam. But
I've
not a lot
had.
of
You want to
people
hear something funny? I've had one for 2 years sitting on in my pile of things that I need to do.
Really?
I haven't installed it.
Now it's obsolete. It's like old.
No, it's still 1080p, 30 frames per second. It'll do just fine.
To me, out of everything that car manufacturers have added to cars, that's such a weird thing to me that they haven't added like a
Yeah.
default.
I feel like that's pressure from the insurance companies, though, like, or from somewhere for them not to do that at this point.
You would think insurance
No,
companies would want
yeah,
it, though,
they totally would want that.
because then they can find fault like that and either say, we're not paying for your thing, or, yeah, fine, we have to pay for your thing.
But you think it'd be a default thing in like review mirrors?
Ooh, or maybe like the car companies don't want to do it because like when Ford's tires all started failing, that would have been bad press
That's
to see those crashes in real time.
Those Firestone tires?
Yeah, those fire or like the airbags, like to see the
Dashboard cams point out the airbags.
But it's got
won't matter.
audio.
Sometimes, yeah.
like
You're right.
yeah, sometimes. Anyway, that'd be bad press. That's probably where the car manufacturers don't put it in there.
Yeah.
Recall.
You can find decent cheap ones, though, now.
yeah,
like James
there's a
was
link
saying.
in there. It's for like $18. Get it at Walmart. Have it shipped to your house.
I got one from, I think I have a Xiaomi one that I got. It's
Sounds like a type of shawl.
Just do a wise cam.
it's a little higher end, but it only cost me like $40. And it's got SD card reader, a phone app that you can just port everything to your phone. It can run off a battery if you don't want to have it plugged in. I mean, it's got all that stuff, and it's just sitting there. I haven't ever
And speaking of which, I know you do this.
plugged it in.
If I have my wife's old Samsung phone, can you show me how you have like
Make
if
it
you
into a security camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy.
Really?
Just an app you download and install it and run it.
Can I do it from iPhone?
Yeah, there's iPhone apps that do it for sure.
Oh, nice. Because that's what I was going to use one of my Waze cams for, but if I don't have to.
Yeah. The only thing is I've noticed as I've done that with several different models of phones is they never quite work as good as advertised as a dedicated camera.
I tried to do one as a baby monitor.
They
same
always
thing.
end up janking out for some reason.
Speaking of which,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Speaking of which, I know a couple of episodes ago you talked about, Owen, the camera making a high-pitched noise.
Did you find one in your house
the
that does that?
thing is like, I don't...
Is your baby
The
sleeping?
outlet, I don't know. I don't want to say that it does.
Is your baby not sleeping?
Yeah. How did you find that out?
Well, at first I thought it was nothing. So we had one that had lights. There were like the connectivity lights and activity lights, and and I went in there. I taped over them, and I was like, I don't think it's making a noise, but I have really bad hearing, and so I couldn't hear it. But my daughter was consistently waking up, especially about a minute after we turn on the cam to check on her, or if we had the cam running.
That's crazy.
And
But
so
how
one
did
night,
you detect
one night I was in there. We thought we live close to a train, so we thought it was a train. But so I kind of gave up. But then one night I was in there and I was really close to it, and I put my ear to it and I could feel the pressure because I couldn't hear the pitch. Pitch is out of my hearing range, but I could feel the pressure on my ear. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, come in here and check this out. And she put her ear up to it, and she could barely hear it because she also, I mean, we're older. I mean, we're not old, but you know, we're in our 30s now, and you know, I'm coming up on 40, so it's like we're getting past that.
I mean, to be
prime.
fair, that walker is brand new.
Yeah.
So
So anyway, but we felt it. She could hear it, but then we realized our daughter has fantastic hearing.
Yeah.
So
Kids,
way wider range.
most people, I can't remember where I read this, but most people lose the ability to hear high pitched frequencies as they age.
Yeah, it's a
so
thing.
for toddlers, they can hear it really well.
And so we got rid of it, and it fixed our problem. We switched to an Amazon cam, which I don't really like either, but
but
at
it
least
solved your issue.
But it solved our issue.
yeah. I just want to know. I don't know.
We
Maybe
were,
I'll
we were,
Google
We were
search.
using the actual baby monitor though, it was designed to be a baby monitor. One like the
and it had a high pitched thing.
yeah.
Wow.
And it just was cheap. I think it's just poor design. It was still one of the more high end ones, like expensive wise, but it wasn't like a Nest Cam or the Amazon Cam or the Wise Cam, which kind of have been turned into baby monitors.
Right.
And it definitely wasn't the outlet because the outlet wasn't out at the time.
And the other thing that I want to look into is a hidden camera finder. We've been staying in Airbnbs lately, and
There's an app for that.
an app.
Like a network discovery app. So most places when you go to an Airbnb, right, they give you the Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi?
password, right?
Yeah.
So there's an app you can get that just scans the network really quick. Once you're on the Wi-Fi, most of these people aren't setting up very high-tech security systems inside their network.
Yeah.
So
that's
they
true.
give you the Wi-Fi password because they're like, sweet, I'm making some free dollars. And you can just run this app that has a known list of MAC addresses and unique identifiers, and it will search for
any cameras.
any cameras.
That's
But
awesome.
it
What is that
doesn't
called?
pinpoint the
I
cameras.
can't remember the name. I
Does
read
it?
it. I read it randomly and was like, oh, I'm never gonna stay in Airbnb.
I'm staying in like 4 this year.
Yeah, go look up
Whoa.
the hidden. It's a hidden camera finder, something.
You have 4 trips planned this year already? It's February.
No, just one is going to be multiple locations.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go? I'm
I
going to San
see.
Diego. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go?
I'll
He's
have
not going to
find that
tell
out.
you so you don't follow him.
Yeah, I'm going away to get away from you.
This is the guy that wouldn't let you fly a
But
drone
we were
over
in the
his
same
house.
place almost at the same time a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wow, there's a lot of hidden camera detector apps.
Yeah, they're just a
Just Google it.
it's just a network scanner that has, I don't know if it's a known list or if it's a device type that it identifies, but when you're on somebody's inside LAN, unless they've set up a dedicated Wi-Fi
Like a
radio
yeah,
that's like
guest
a
Wi-Fi
guest
radio.
Wi-Fi, then you're typically not. And sometimes they'll still allow like ping and some other things across the VLAN, like between the two, the virtual and the other
Yeah.
one, like the guest and so you can still identify it, but there's ways.
Yep.
Or you
Well-
just go shut down the router and just say I don't want Wi-Fi.
Oh, there's an idea
know,
too.
just
I
turn
didn't
it
think
off.
about
Be like, I don't care.
that. One other thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we go is I was going to give a review for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I played it on PC, and let's see, like I said, it took me about a week and a half to beat it. I think 30 hours ish, and I did all of the challenge tombs and all but 2 of the side quests, and of course the main story quest. I upgraded several weapons all the way. I mean, I did probably 80% of what's available in the game. Where I drew the line was the look for document stuff.
I always hate those kind of quests.
Yeah, I would find them if they were there along the way, but I didn't go out of my way to find documents and relics and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I hate
don't
finding
care
quests.
About that.
It's nice when you find it along the way, though.
Yeah, when you find along the way, it's kind of fun. But the overall, the game was really good. Graphics on the PC were amazing. I would put it up there currently in like probably my top 3 of graphics on PC. It's really
Wow.
good looking. Fairly well optimized too for the quality of the graphics. And gameplay wise, I would say it is better than the first one. Maybe not as good as the second one. I really enjoyed the second one.
I liked the first one better than the second one.
Okay, so either way, you're sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought the story actually does come to a conclusion for the 3 games,
Oh, good.
which was honestly the first game felt like it was just more about the survival of Lara on the island, and then the second game felt like it was you were diving into a little bit of why was my dad killed kind of a thing, and then the third game. That brings all of that to a head with Trinity. They talk about Trinity in the second one. I think a little bit in the first one too. And it was interesting the way they wrapped all that up. It was, I would say, it's definitely not the best story. I mean, especially after playing games like God of War and Lost.
Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted has a really good story too. No, that's the only reason I play those games.
Oh.
Was a lot Horizon Zero Dawn is what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Really cool story. But yeah, I would say the story it's good, not great, but it was still compelling enough to keep you going. The best part about that game, honestly, is the exploration and the game mechanics for fighting and hiding and things like that were pretty dang good as well, and the development of Lara Croft's character throughout the 3 games was interesting, and I really like her sidekick guy. I think he's really cool too. The Polynesian dude. Yeah,
I like him.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, but he's
Jonah.
Jonah. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Wow. I feel like you
Jonah. No, he's way cool, and I really enjoyed their interactions and things like that because he's
Is he
kinda,
actually in it more this time?
Yeah, he's kind of like her conscience, basically.
That's good because I really liked him in the first one. He wasn't really present in the second one.
Yeah, he didn't do a whole lot in the second one, but they gave his character a lot more screen time in this one. And overall, I'd say the game was excellent. I would give it a 8.5. Technical wise, it's a tour de force if you have a powerful PC, and it actually uses DirectX 12 like DirectX 12 was announced years ago and bragged about. It makes the system resources distributed a lot better.
Yeah, for once.
So yeah, this is like one of the first games where if you have the choice between DirectX 12 and DirectX 11, use DirectX 12 this time.
So they announced ray tracing and DLSS forever ago on this game.
It's still not out.
It's still not out. I've been waiting for that to come out for me to
Yeah.
play it, and I probably shouldn't because it'll make the performance go bad, and DLSS will be too blurry to use that anyway.
Probably, and this is a really sharp game. They have a
Yeah.
lot of high-frequency textures and things like that.
Uh-huh.
It just looks really good, and it's a lot of fun to play. But, comparing it to other third-person adventure action games out in the last year, it's not as great as God of War. It's probably not as great as... No, it's definitely not as great as Horizon Zero Dawn. But those games are like outliers. They're exceptionally good.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in playing the Tomb Raider games, all three of them are definitely worth playing. They're a lot of fun. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it. It was really good.
Really quick before we move on, I
Yes.
realized that I actually have a gadget and technology that I would like to review.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so I after leaving Batman and the Justice League, Zack Snyder, he was not say tasked. He was asked to teach a film class, just like kind of sit in to teach it. And he wanted to do the class on like, there's no excuse for you not to create right now because we have these awesome cameras in our pockets, and like, there's no excuse not to shoot film.
It's true.
Videos if you don't want to.
The price, the price barrier is way lower than
Yeah,
it
it's
used
way
to be.
lower. And on top of that, like, you already have it in your pocket and you take it everywhere with you when you go. But but before teaching that class, he was thinking, he's just like, I've never shot an actual movie with a phone, so I'm going to shoot a movie with a phone. So he shot a short film on his phone. It's not bad. It's very Zack Snyder.
I like Zack Snyder.
I like his
Yeah.
style.
I've always
It's really
liked his
good
stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
but his color palette's what I really like. And I was watching it and I was like, man, he shot this with an iPhone? That's kind of crazy because how he shoots, you got to shoot in log in order to like color it the way that he colors it. And if you want, I found out you can actually shoot in log on your phone.
Does it take a specific app or just
Yeah.
change a setting?
It's called Filmic Pro. It's $15 to get, but as soon as I got it, there's a lot of unlockables in it.
Oh.
And it's another $15 to unlock the log, which, I mean, if you think about it, that's fine. I mean,
In-app
it's
purchases
4K 60 frames per second
for $30
for $30.
if you have the right phone.
Yeah, and then you got to color it, but meh. But outside of that,
I like what I see.
Is that his movie?
no.
Oh.
It's his movie's actually really, really good. But
What's the device that you wanted to review?
well, actually, we just obtained, and go check this out if you want to. But it's an Edelkrone slider with dual mount. So it pans and tilts. It's the kind of slider that you can program through your phone, your camera, to look at certain points as it slides.
On a rail or whatever?
On a rail.
That's
Yeah, it was
neat.
super expensive, but it's really, really nice. I give it a 10 out of 10 as far as sliders, and I realized that
What is it called?
Edelkrone.
How do you spell that?
That is a great question.
How much did it cost?
Dude, you got that last name so good. Like, I just guarantee if you just Google Edelkrone, you'll just power straight through it.
How much does it cost, though?
So when it was all said and done, I think we spent $38 on just the slider.
$38?
1,000
Oh.
or 100.
A little bit different.
Okay, that's still a lot of
Oh
money,
my
but
gosh,
it's
that
not
was a close-up.
38,000.
No, I realized that
Everybody listening just went, nope.
Yeah.
I just realized. Sorry, I'm fading in the end of this. In the end of this podcast, I'm realizing. But yeah, I realized that I use better gear for my day to day than Snyder used on this movie. So I have no excuse to not shoot as good as he did.
Well, lack of talent.
I mean, that is true. He does have a lot more. Wait a minute.
Wow.
You jerk. I hope your Excel spreadsheets crash on you tomorrow.
And they do constantly.
If you lose the data, though, I hope they're unrecoverable.
Is that the Zack Snyder movie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's it called?
That still does look like
It
pro.
is called Snow Steam Iron. Wow.
All right,
I am
I think
fading at the end.
James is done.
Jeez, what is wrong with
I think
me?
we're all done, actually. I think we're good. Is there anything else you guys wanted to hit on?
Nope. I think I'm all right.
Ready to roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaren, I'll let you mess with the app a little bit. Can we play a game before I leave? I need a game.
I guess.
All right, fine. We don't have to play the game. The cool thing is that if I was wearing my iPhone, the what it sees on there comes through on my watch. If I was wearing my watch, I could just end it.
All right, that's it. We're done. James is having trouble with words.
Yeah, there's Darcy.
Oh, and how are your words doing?
Hey, we hope you care.
Gadget Spot.